The inner garrison records room was a labyrinth of dust and silence, where forgotten truths were left to rot.
A single ledger sat apart. The binding was cracked, the seal already broken. Riverside Orphanage Incident. This was classified, buried years ago. Why was the seal broken?
The entry was crisp. Order 47. Effective immediately. Secure Riverside Orphanage and eliminate all witnesses. By authority of High Garrison, signed Captain Aldrich.
Captain Aldrich, the man who shook my hand at graduation, who called me a son of the garrison.
Beyond the shelves, heavy footsteps echoed. A patrol.
Hide it. Now.
Rai Yusei crammed the ledger inside his uniform, just as a guard passed the door. The man glanced in, but saw only a junior officer reviewing files.
They can't know. If anyone finds this, I am dead. Or worse.
He forced his breathing to steady, straightened his collar, and walked out. The ledger was a slab of ice against his ribs. That night, locked in his quarters, Ryusei lit a single candle and opened the ledger again. 43 names. Children. Then the postscript. 1 survivor. Location known. Issue standing kill order.
Captain Aldrich. He gave me his own gloves when mine froze during winter drills. He said the garrison was a family, and he ordered 43 children butchered. A survivor hunted like vermin. How do I swallow that if I take this to the chain of command? I am signing my own execution. The garrison buries its dead, and I'll be one of them. Then what? Burn it? Forget it? They died for nothing, and I just sleep?
He closed the ledger and pressed it flat under his mattress, as if burying in it might quiet the screaming in his skull.
I can't trust the officers. I can't trust the system. Maybe there's nothing left inside these walls worth saving. What if there's a place outside? People who'd want this truth.
He didn't sleep. The thought was reckless, treasonous, and it wouldn't let him go. For 3 days, Ryusei buried himself in the garrison archives, cross-referencing dates, patrol logs, supply requisitions. Every record bent matched the ledger.
The massacre is real. The cover-up is flawless. They even falsified a Titan sighting report. No one would believe. A junior officer over a captain with 30 years of service. I'd be dead before the ink dried on my report.
Later, in the market district, he overheard a whispered name. The Paladin Knight Hanoka. She commanded a rebel faction that protected those who brought truth.
Rebels. Outside the walls. If they exist, they might accept evidence, but reaching them means desertion. Treason. 3 paths. 1. Bury the ledger and live as if I never saw it. 2. Report it and wait for a knife in the dark. 3. Defect. I can't forget. I can't die cheaply. So the 3rd path, I walk it.
The decision settled over him like a second skin. Fear was still there, but underneath it, something colder. Resolve. He retrieved the ledger, studied a crude map of the walled districts, and began marking patrol schedules, guard rotations, exit points. By week's end, Ryusei knew which door would be his last inside the garrison. On the chosen night, he dressed in dark garments and slid the ledger inside his uniform. It felt heavier than armor.
The patrol schedule is burned into my mind. I have exactly 7 minutes to reach the maintenance door.
He moved through the barracks with calculated silence, pausing only when a guard passed within arm's reach. The maintenance door was exactly where the schematics showed. It opened on hinges that hadn't been oiled in years. Cold wind slapped his face as he stepped into the alley. The inner wall was behind him now. He looked back. The garrison's towers cut black shapes against the moon, just as they had every night of his youth.
I was raised there. Now it's a mausoleum demanding my silence. I refuse to be buried in it.
Then he turned and walked, each step taking him deeper into the district, where patrols didn't go.
I am a deserter now, a traitor. If they catch me, I am dead. But if I stop, the truth dies with me.
The night swallowed him whole. The garrison never saw the most wanted man it would soon create. The outer district was a maze of collapsing tenements and open sewers where patrols only came in force and never stayed long. Ryusei moved with his collar up and eyes down, just another hungry shadow. No one asked questions here.
2 days without real food. Every coin I have might not be enough, but I need a guide. Someone who knows the rebel routes.
In a smoke-hazed tavern cellar, a hooded figure leaned close and named a price, all his remaining coin, for a path to the Paladin Knight.
He knows the name Honoka. That's more than I found in 3 days. I can't afford to doubt him now.
The guide pocketed the coins without a word, then jerked his head toward the back alley. The deal was struck. They moved through alleys so narrow the sky was a gray thread. Ryusei kept his hand on the ledger, counting turns.
He glances back too often. Is he watching for patrols or watching for someone else?
Past the abandoned soapworks, the guide suddenly stopped and pointed at a crumbling wall marked with faint rebel chalk. Then they were moving again, faster, into the district where the rebels might be waiting. Ryusei followed, every instinct screaming. The guide stopped in a dead-end courtyard and whistled. From the shadows, 3 men with rusted blades emerged.
Ambush, of course. He sold me for spare coin and I paid him for it. Now I fight or die.
Ryusei drew the baton he'd kept from the garrison and moved into the first man, cracking the blade aside. His training took over. Parry, pivot, strike the knee. The second thief crumpled as the guide fled the courtyard.
The guide's gone. I am alone with a bleeding arm and a ledger worth more lives than mine.
The last thief hesitated, then ran. Ryusei leaned against the wall, gasping, his uniform sleeve torn and dark with blood. Pain was secondary. He stumbled back into the alleys, following the rebel chalk marks he had memorized from the guide's brief pauses. Hours more passed before his vision blurred, but he kept moving toward the outer ring where painted symbols thickened on the walls. At last, a freshly painted rebel crest on a broken gate. He fell against it, too weak to call out. A bowstring creaked. A young scout in rebel leathers stepped from the shadows, crossbow aimed at the intruder. The scout whistled. 2 more rebels emerged, and rough hands bound Ryusei's wrists before hauling him through the camp at dawn.
They think I am a spy. If I don't speak fast, they'll slit my throat and dump me in the gutter.
They pushed him into a command tent. A tall woman with auburn hair and sharp brown eyes turned from a map table. Honoka.
A garrison officer half dead at my gate? I've seen this before. Spies come with fine stories and empty hands.
I am not a spy. I have proof, a ledger. The Riverside Orphanage wasn't a Titan attack. It was a massacre, ordered by my own captain.
A junior officer suddenly grew a conscience. Where is this ledger? Show it, or I'll have you searched.
Inside my uniform. I need my hands free. I came here to join you, not to die.
Honoka nodded at a guard, who cut his bindings but kept a blade ready. Slowly, Ryusei reached into his uniform and pulled out the worn leather ledger. He held it out like an offering.
She opened the cover. The first entry stopped her cold. If this is real, you've just set a bomb under this kingdom.
Honoka turned page after page, her jaw tightening. The names blurred together, but the signature at the bottom stayed sharp. Captain Aldrich.
I heard rumors of Riverside years ago. Whispers that it wasn't a Titan, but every witness died before they could speak.
She knows the rumors. This isn't just interrogation. She's been waiting for someone to bring this proof.
The survivor. The one they still hunt. What name is written here?
Lena Voss, 14 years old. The order says she was last seen near the inner wall.
Honoka nodded, her expression unreadable. She closed the ledger and placed it on the map table.
You'll stay under guard, but you'll have food, a bed, and a medic for that arm. We'll verify this ledger.
Not freedom, but not death. A chance to be proven right.
The guards led him out. Honoka stood motionless, the ledger heavy in her hands, her face a mask of calculation. Ryusei collapsed onto the cot, the first bed he'd seen in days. But sleep wouldn't come. His fate was still chained. 3 days later, Honoka summoned him. The ledger had been verified through rebel contacts inside the garrison.
The handwriting, the seal, the patrol logs, they all match. I believe you, Ryusei. This ledger is authentic. If you join us, there's no pardon waiting. No return to the life you had. You'll be hunted as a traitor.
I was a ghost the moment I walked out. The only life I want now is one where that massacre isn't buried.
They shook hands. The weight of it settled into Ryusei's bones. He was no longer a garrison officer. He was a rebel. Hours later, a seamstress measured him for a new uniform. Black hem, replacing the torn white, the rebel emblem stitched over his heart.
This uniform marks me as a target, but also as something else, a keeper of the truth.
That evening, Honoka invited him to share a simple meal in her tent. They ate in silence, the weight of the future unspoken. For the first time since finding the ledger, Ryusei felt something other than dread, a fragile sense of purpose. But beyond the tent, the kingdom's shadow was stirring. The defection was only the first step. In the days that followed, Ryusei briefed the rebel captains on garrison patrol routes and supply weak points. His intel precise and invaluable, but not everyone was convinced. At the campfire, a scarred veteran spat at the ground when Ryusei passed. Honoka stepped between them, her voice carrying the calm authority of a paladin knight.
Ryusei brought us the truth about Riverside. He's proven his worth. Any knife meant for him must first pass through me.
She's staking her reputation on me. I can't give them any reason to doubt her judgment.
Beyond the camp, news of a missing junior officer had reached the inner walls. Patrols now carried his description, seeking a deserter. His old desk in the garrison office stood empty, a silent accusation. They knew he was gone. At the camp, a tense watchfulness settled. Guards were doubled. Ryusei trained with the recruits, but eyes followed him everywhere.
They're right to watch. A traitor from the garrison could be playing a long game. I have to earn trust one action at a time.
The camp held its breath. The kingdom was stirring, and inside the walls, a storm was forming. Garrison soldiers marched into every district, pasting a new bulletin. The paper was thick, the ink still wet, the portrait unmistakable. Wanted, Ryusei, former junior officer of the inner garrison. Charges, treason, desertion, theft of classified documents. Reward, 500,000 pen, dead or alive.
I knew this would come, but seeing my name next to traitor still feels like a blade between my ribs. No more pretending. I am the most hunted man in the walls now, but I am also the proof they can't silence.
He returned to the rebel camp in silence. The news had already raced ahead of him through whispered channels. Around the campfires, the bounty repeated like a curse. 500,000 pen, enough to turn every informant into a hunter.
Every rebel here is in danger because of me. I can't just fight. I have to be worth that risk.
Beyond the camp, patrols doubled. Every gate bristled with extra guards, their eyes sweeping for a face that matched the poster.
And I wanted the truth to matter. Now it does. I'll carry this weight until the kingdom hears it scream.
The rebellion braced. No one said it aloud, but they all understood. The most wanted man had just made them the most dangerous camp in the kingdom. That same night, Honoka called him into her tent. Her expression was grim as she laid a captured intelligence file on the table.
We intercepted a royal courier. This is an order, signed by the king himself. The massacre wasn't just Aldrich's initiative, it was a crown directive.
The king, the man, the entire garrison swore to protect. He ordered the slaughter of children to bury a secret.
The revelation shattered inside him, but before he could speak, a horn blast cut through the night. Garrison soldiers had found the camp. Fire erupted from the supply tents. Rebels shouted over clashing steel as uniformed soldiers poured through the perimeter. Through the smoke, he saw Honoka cornered by 3 soldiers. One raised a blade to her neck while she parried another. Ryusei lunged, driving the attacking soldier back with a bone-jarring parry. The blade meant for Honoka bit into his shoulder instead.
You are bleeding. Why would you?
I told you, I didn't come here to die. I came here to stand with you. Now let's finish this.
By dawn, the camp was ashes, but the core of the rebellion had escaped. Honoka clasped his unwounded arm and raised it for the survivors. In the days after the raid, the rebellion retreated deeper into the abandoned districts. Ryusei's knowledge of garrison patterns became their sharpest weapon.
Your intel on the Eastern Gate rotation is flawless. If we strike there, we can seize the district without a slaughter.
She calls it flawless, but every detail I give them came from the life I abandoned. The weight of that won't lift.
That evening, they sat apart from the others. The campfire crackled low. and for a moment, the war felt distant.
Anoka. Every day I stay, I bring the king's hunters closer. This bounty on my head could doom all of you.
And every day you stay, you prove that a single truth can shake an empire. You are not a risk. You are the reason we fight.
She carries the rebellion on her shoulders, yet she sits here, easing mine. I won't let her down. Not ever.
The plan solidified. In 3 nights, they would move on the eastern district. Ryusei would lead the infiltration unit.
Leading the charge means standing where every garrison rifle will be aimed. But if we win, a district goes free. That's worth a bullet.
Silence settled over the camp. The most wanted man in the walls was about to turn hunter himself. That night, 2 hours before the planned assault, a shadow slipped past the camp's patrols and entered Ryusei's tent.
I felt the air shift before I saw the blade. Trained instinct saved me.
The assassin lunged again, silent and professional, his curved dagger seeking Ryusei's throat. They crashed through the tent's side. A young rebel recruit, barely 16, threw himself between them. The dagger found his chest instead.
No, he's just a kid.
Anoka appeared from the tent flap, her sword carving a brutal arc. The assassin crumpled, lifeless.
He's dead. Another life spent because of my name. This bounty is a death sentence for anyone near me.
Ryusei pressed shaking hands to the wound, but the blood no longer pumped. The camp stirred with alarm around them.
Vengeance won't revive him. The mission honors him. We move at dawn as planned.
A cold dawn broke. Ryusei cleaned the blood from his hands with a resolve colder than the water. The rebellion struck with precision, defacing wanted posters and seizing supply wagons. But a single sealed parchment would change everything.
The seal of Captain Aldrich. The man who made me a traitor. Why would he reach out now?
The script was shaky. Ryusei. Come alone to the ruined chapel beyond the west gate. No soldiers. It is not a trap.
Not a trap. From the man who slaughtered children. Either he's broken, or he's hiding a truth the kingdom wants buried forever.
You can't go. It's exactly what the king would orchestrate, a secluded spot, and a single name to silence for good.
He's been silent for 20 years. If there's even a chance he'll tell me why, I have to hear it. This could end the war.
Then let me come with you. I won't let you walk into a slaughter alone.
Number, you are the heart of this rebellion. If it is a trap, they can't take both of us. I go alone.
At dusk, he slipped past the camp's new patrols. The letter a coal in his pocket, his destination a silhouette in the dying light. The most wanted man in the walls was walking into the dark alone. The kingdom had not set this trap, but something older waited. The ruined chapel rose from the fog like a broken rib cage. Inside, a single figure leaned on a cane beneath the collapsed altar.
Captain Aldrich, the man who shook my hand, who gave me his gloves, and now I see a ghost wearing his face.
You came. I wasn't certain you would, after everything.
You wrote that it wasn't a trap, but the whole kingdom is a trap for me. Why should I believe anything you say?
Because I am already dead. The kingdom stripped my rank weeks ago. They know I am a liability, and they'll silence me soon.
He's not here to kill me. He's here to unload a weight. But what could possibly justify what he did?
I've been waiting 20 years for someone like you. Someone too stubborn to let the truth rot.
20 years. He's been waiting for someone to expose him. No, he chose me. He planted that ledger.
Sit. I'll tell you everything. Not as your captain, as a father who buried 43 children by order of his king.
Ryusei didn't sit, but he didn't leave. The silence between them was a held breath. The silence stretched until Aldrich's voice broke it, hoarse and final.
The king ordered the massacre. He wanted a witness silenced, a woman who knew of his illegitimate child. I was his sword, and I didn't refuse. I followed orders. I led soldiers into that orphanage. I watched them cry before the blades fell. 43 souls, and I didn't flinch.
The massacre wasn't even military necessity. It was to erase a scandal.
I planted the ledger you found. I put it where only someone auditing personnel files would see it. I needed a conscience to find it, because mine was long dead.
Aldrich's trembling hand extended a thick envelope. Sealed with his personal crest, Ryusei's hands closed around the envelope. His knuckles whitened.
Why me? I was nobody.
Because you never looked away. I remembered you, the recruit who shared his rations during the winter drills. A man like that doesn't bury a ledger.
Ryusei gripped the confession and walked out into the dawn. The old captain's shadow faded behind him, but his penance had found a home. By midday, Ryusei staggered back to camp. The confession was crumpled in his grip, but its power was absolute.
Anoka. He wrote everything. The king ordered the massacre to hide an illegitimate child. It's all signed, witnessed, incomplete.
Aldrich's signature. This is a direct confession. It ties the crown to the murder of 43 children.
A scout arrived with worse news. Aldrich was arrested at dawn, executed by the royal police within hours. The kingdom was already burying the truth.
Then we publish tonight. Every press we have, every courier. The truth leaves these walls before they silence us.
In the hidden basement, the printing press roared to life. Ink stained the rollers black as the first pages peeled away.
Aldrich gave his life for this ink. I'll make sure it reaches every eye in the kingdom.
Couriers saddled horses, the freshly printed confessions packed into worn saddlebags, their routes burned into memory. By dusk, the first pamphlets slipped into market squares, tucked under doors, pasted over the wanted posters. The most hunted man in the walls had just armed the people with something harder than steel, the undeniable truth. Within hours, the confession lit fires across the kingdom. District squares erupted. Soldiers struggled to contain crowds armed with pamphlets, not swords. The rebellion surged through the chaos. Within a week, 3 districts fell under rebel banners, the first liberated territories in a generation. But the king answered with fire and steel. Royal troops swept the outer districts, executing any who sheltered rebels. Ryusei fought to reach the eastern gate, but the reports came faster than his legs could carry him. Hanoka had made her stand at the civilians' evacuation point. He found her in the rubble, a soldier's blade already withdrawn from her side. She'd fought to the last.
Don't let them forget. Publish in my name. Promise me.
I swear it. The kingdom will hear you.
By nightfall, the presses ran again, this time printing not a confession but a Paladin Knight's final testimony, signed with her creed. He stood before the survivors, the torn rebel banner in one hand. The war was not over. The truth was not done. Onoka was buried under the fallen chapel where the confession had been born. Ryusei did not weep. He sharpened his blade. 1 year later, the liberated districts named Ryusei their first attorney general. The office was spare: books, a desk, memory. The only decoration, a framed photograph of Hanoka smiling beside her sword, taken during the rebellion's first winter.
Every case I argue, I ask myself what she would do. The answer is always the same. Tell the truth, no matter the cost.
Petitions from families of the Riverside victims, land disputes, trials of former garrison officials. His desk was never clear. He was respected, not loved. His sharp, dark eyes and unyielding arguments reminded people of the purge that had shaped him.
I never wanted the title. I wanted her to see this, but I'll serve it the way she would have.
Some nights, he still wore the rebel coat under his formal robes, the black hem that first marked him a traitor. Before leaving, he always touched the edge of the photograph. It was the only ritual of grief he permitted himself. The war was over, but the truth was a wick he carried, lit and unextinguished, and every morning the work began again. The courtroom was a converted garrison hall, its walls stripped of royal banners. A rebel flag now hung where the king's crest once gleamed. Ryusei stood at the prosecutor's podium, the same calm intensity in his dark gray eyes, the scars on his knuckles visible as he laid out evidence.
These orders bear the seal of the High Garrison. They authorize the execution of civilians without trial. I submit them as proof of war crimes.
The accused, a former captain, now stripped of rank, sat with his head bowed. The ledger's truth had finally reached this courtroom.
Onoka should be here. She should see the law finally bowing to the truth.
The jury was composed of farmers, former rebels, and survivors. Their verdicts were not vengeance, they were law. As the gavel fell, Ryusei allowed himself a breath. One case closed, a dozen more waited. Outside, the rebel banners snapped in the wind. The sky was clear, and in the distance, the inner wall stood cracked, but not fallen. Ryusei paused at the steps, his hand resting over his heart, where the rebel emblem used to be stitched. Someone had written Honoka's creed on the new cornerstone. Truth shall not be silenced. Ryusei looked up at the words, then walked on. The hillside was silent. Honoka's grave lay under a soft dawn sky, the rebel crest carved deep. Ryusei knelt and unbuckled his badge. He laid it on the stone, the silver cool against the granite.
I kept my promise.
He stood. Below, the city woke beneath a rebel banner that had once been his crime to carry. The flag snapped in the wind, its cloth worn but unbowed. Like the people who raised it, the badge caught the sunrise, the engraved name, Honoka, reflecting the light. For a moment, he felt her standing beside him, not as a ghost, but as a promise fulfilled. He turned away, the weight of the ledger finally lighter than the badge on the stone. The morning dew beaded on the silver, and the rebel's sword on the marker seemed to gleam high above the city. The banner carried her creed into the new day. Truth shall not be silenced.